I heard a lot of scripts, and there wasn't anyone really writing for women except the script that Preeta and Vrinda came to me with, which is a sports-related film. Everybody else had gone back to doing the same thing, and I'm like, idella naan 20 varsha munchene madidini, just being a prop in the film, and there's some comedy scenes, and then you'll go, there's a song sequence, and you come, and I'm like, this is not what I want to do anymore. Which is why I've taken so long to even decide what I want to do. The other film that I got was Uttarakhanda, which the film was really, really nice, but they had like a sequel, so I wasn't sure I was going to be able to give that kind of time. But I still feel like, if you look at Malayalam, right, which I'm in love with Malayalam films, the way they write roles for them, I'm just amazed. And I don't know why we're not writing such roles for women in Kannada. I think now people have so much exposure to Telugu, Tamil, Hindi, English, and so many films on Mubi and on OTT. And you see there's so much of the female perspective that's being brought into films. I don't see why Kannada is still lagging in that aspect. I'm just a little disappointed with that. And I think that we have enough writers, we have enough stories to tell, but I don't think they see the market for a female-led film yet. We're still
but your last film did really well. The one
which was it? I think it was Sanju Ed's Gita was not my last film. It was Aryan and I think Nagraha.
Which you produced.
I produced, Okay, yeah. So I think Uttaramadani, Well, the film didn't do well commercially.
But it was a beautiful film.
Yes, and it won all the awards, so I'm very proud of the film. But I don't think the masses are ready for that kind of films, which I think must change. Which is what I'm hoping for.
But, we see a lot of heroes do these action films. Where is the female action, superstar in India? We don't see that yet. I think all of y'all can.
No, been there, done that. We've done that. We've done that more than 25 years ago.
But in today's world, we don't see that.
Being a woman, and if you want to play strong roles, it means you have to play like a man's role. I don't understand that. It doesn't mean that a woman has to become a police officer or start hitting people to show that we're strong. We can show how strong we are with emotions and with our dynamics with the people around us. That is, show of strength, right? Like how you overcome situations, your resilience. I think women are very resilient. That itself shows that women are strong. I don't see why we have to get categorized as ivaga heroine centric film andre ivaga police officer tolu atara. I don't see sense in that.
All the action that men do on screen is not real.
Yeah. That's also
More so now than ever.
She said sometimes it translates off screen also. But Nandini, adding to that what she said, roles are not being written for women. Do you think that's still a big problem?
Absolutely. I mean, I can't see why an Ullolukku can't happen in other languages, Absolutely gripping film. But on the other hand, I would like to see Ullolukku go and make 50, 60 crores.
Right.
That should happen. Not just the amount of money and critical acclaim it's made. I would like to see it do a Manjumel Boys. Well, the thing is that today also 70 to 80% of your audience is male, and the age group is 18 to 23. So you have to be very precise right now what your landing ground is, because right now our attention span is literally that of an Insta reel, because that's our attention span, 2 minutes. You have a start, middle and a finish, and people are constantly doom scrolling now. So we are so overstimulated. We don't have the patience to sit through cinema like we used to. So you have to get that hit very, very fast. Now within that, add this percentage that your audience is largely male. It is largely in this age segment. Now just keep narrowing it down and then you'll understand the problem. So the economics just don't make sense. So how do we crack that? How do we get our Barbie? That's the question.
Yeah.
Well, at least we should have strong roles for women
within that idea.
Absolutely.
But does this mean that women have to resort to producing their own films to kind of make a mark? Is that what it is?
It will take many things. I don't think there's one solution. See, anybody who's producing the films today, I think you need to be aware of the ground reality, because I would want every producer at a minimum to make their money back. It's not an agenda we're trying to put forward. At the end of the day, you have to make your money to make another film. That's the simple thing. So you have to be aware what you're making and for whom you're making, at the very minimum.
Okay. But despite, all these challenges, there have been successful, strong female, films that have done well. What do you attribute the success of that to? Is it the actor themselves, the talent? Is it the story? Or is it a combination of all this, Ramya?
I think it's a combination, yeah.
And I think at the base of it is the story.
Yeah.
I think it's many things. You see, sometimes we'll see a very good film which didn't work. It will be because the release timing was bad. So many things. So it's got to be a combination of things, but the platform on which everything is built is a good story. Of course, there are times when sometimes it's the most ridiculous story. It would have worked. Why would it have worked? Because the songs were great, or the star's charisma was so magnetic. You're seeing him or her in a completely different light. Certain blocks would have worked. So you don't know, every time the mood is also shifting. So by the time you start a film to when it lands, the ground has again completely shifted. How have you marketed the film? What were the other releases at that time? So many things. It's a very, very, very complex business, which is why I say only crazy people come into this life.
Okay. Ramya, as an actor, when you have such a strong market, you've seen so much of success. What do you think about the pay disparity? Do you think heroines, are paid on par with heroes? Why has that not happened till today?
I really don't know. In fact, I had, most of my films I worked with, today who are like superstars who are not known that much when I did films with them. And they were, the next film, the hero was paid like maybe 50 times more than what he was paid, for the film that we would have done together. And I would have gotten paid maybe like 5 times more. That's it. So that's the kind of difference. We work together. He was relatively unknown. And then we do a hit together. And then he gets paid in crores. And I'm still like trying to hit that 1 CR, So that, of course, exists, and I don't know why. They think, it's a hero na nodake bartare jasti jana anta. But I think if there was no hero, and I don't even know if people would still go and watch movies, right? I think we're equally contributing to the film. Having said that, I have in the past, I have refused to do films because I wasn't being paid as much as I was expecting to be paid. Only because I wanted to prove a point that no, unless I'm going to be paid equally or more, I'm not going to do a film. So I have let go of films just for that, because I think that women must be paid equally, not just in films, even otherwise. I've had friends who work in the corporate field as well, and she's doing the same job as the other person, but then she got to know that he was being paid a lot more only because something with his education or something like that. I don't understand you, but you're doing the same job, right? So I don't think it's just in the films, but I think it exists everywhere. Women are just paid less than men.
Yeah, it's the truth. It's a universal truth.
But how do you guys negotiate when
I
because
think
your job is also quite unique.
Yeah, so I think with technicians, with directors at least, it's a little different. No, it's not that we get. I will get paid commensurate with my last Friday.
That's what I'm saying. Even for a technician, it becomes like, what was your previous film? How much did you get paid for that? Sometimes, if the previous film is a big box office hit, I can demand more.
Yes.
So there is really no science to it.
But the actors, one more thing I would like to say, okay, they have this whole theory of box office pull and blah, 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 blah. Let me put aside lead actors for now. But even among character actors, 2 character actors of a similar stature, there would again be a difference. The male actors always paid more. So that exists. How is it in the media?
Why is the poor receiving of syndrome?
No, I want to know, because we are like the poster boys for everything that's horrible. Pay parity, sexual discrimination industry. I want to know.
You guys are in the glam world.
You guys are the one behind the camera doing all that. Yeah, tell us.
We will move on.
She doesn't want to answer controversial questions.
Yeah. So, that's interesting that you said that. But have ever any heroes batted for your pay? Has any male?
Well, let me just add one more point to that. On that one point, something I just came to know recently and I was very happy. Samantha's producing her first film and she told me there is pay parity. She made it a point.
Oh, that's fantastic.
The male and the female actors, she made it a point that they're paying absolutely the same. I was so proud of her. Absolutely so proud.
You're directing the film.
No, that's the film that's already completed.
That's already
completed. Yeah.
So are you doing a film with her? We'll keep that for another conversation. Okay, I won't embarrass you. So, Preeta, talking about technicians, what are you in your field as a cinematographer? How are you trying to get in more women into your field, which is so specialized?
So we have formed this Indian Women Cinematographers Collective, as in Fauzia, Fatima, few DOPs from Bombay. They started the initiative. So we have about roughly 200, 300 women aspiring cinematographers. And not just cinematographers, gaffers, focus pullers, assistant
I didn't know they're focus pullers.
Yeah. So happy.
Everyone under one umbrella. It's actually a website and a WhatsApp group. But it's a really nice nurturing space where a lot of technical knowledge is shared. And many of us, if we have requirements for assistance, take on the girls who are interested, who are part of the group. Of course, even ISC, I'm part of ISC. I recently did a mentorship and I had a girl who mentored under me. So yeah, sharing the whatever I've learned, industry experience as well as the knowledge, hoping that it will create more opportunities.
What was the name of the group?
IWCC.
IWCC. So in case anybody is interested, you can look that up. Ramya, of course, there's so many actresses who are coming in today, right? Fresh talent, constantly, across every industry, right? From the time you started till the kind of films that you see today, how much have the roles for women evolved, gotten better? Or is it, do you see still, other than some, women-oriented films, do you see them, do you see any progress? Is it progressive for women on screen?
Yeah, for sure. I would, I think Gantu Mute was an excellent film, directed by Rupa Rao. Then there was another film, smaller film, I don't think many of you watched it, but I loved it. It's called Hadnedu Hadnedu. I loved the film, okay. And then there's also Sindhu, who just directed Acharya and Co. I love that film as well.
Acharya.
Yeah, and then in Sapta Sagara, I really liked Rukmini's role as well. Yeah. So I think it has definitely evolved over the years. And I think I wish there'd just be more of it. Yeah.
Nandini, as a director, how are you, picking and choosing your subjects? And does the feminine angle come at all? Or is it, I just want to make a good movie, which the audience is going to love?
No, I can't sit and try to be conscious of that. I mean, that's organic, right? Every choice that I make comes from the fact that I'm a woman. So it comes from every feminine experience that I've had in my life. That's automatic. I don't have to particularly think about that. But I think naturally I have always fleshed out strong women roles because that's my experience in my life. I have strong women in my life. I like to see strong women characters. Hemant Rao is one of my absolute favorite directors and dear buddy. And SSD, I mean, I've made no bones about the fact about how much I've loved the film. And
Sapta Sagara
Dachiyalo. And both the films were absolutely stunning. And I think there are brilliant young filmmakers now who are writing amazing roles for women. And I have great hope that this new generation of filmmakers are writing much more complex characters. In fact, Preeta's done one phenomenal film, which is making a lot of noise.
Yes, Bad Girl, Vetri produced
Superb.
Yes. It's creating a lot of buzz because I think people are unable to accept that a woman, can be complex.
Complex, yeah.
She's not perfect, and the director has repeatedly said she's just a flawed character, but there's a lot of backlash.
But it...
Yeah, I think you all are on the right track. I mean, you ask Sandeep, he will answer. From Arjun Reddy, he's been hounded, so but he's a success today. So I think success is coming your way.
So one of the things I do want to ask is, as women in the film industry, without taking, irrespective of your role, how is success imperative for you to survive? Because if a director has a bad film, he'll still get another film. But does it work the same way for women?
I think it's a little harder. It is a little harder. I mean, every time my film has failed, but either ways I've taken 2 years. But I'm just a lazy writer. But yeah, no, it's harder. It's harder.
Yeah, it's harder. It's harder to continue to keep working. I mean, I started from the beginning, I'll say. It's hard to get a break. It's hard to sustain yourself. It's hard to keep on working. I don't know why. Because it should be a gender, ideally. But it is. I think I would have done half the films a male DOP with the same talent as me would have done.
A dear friend once told me, you will have to work twice as hard for half the credit. Always. For the rest of your life.
And I have to say this is very true because I hear stories from other sets where the DOPs come late or take a long time to light. I will be super careful and work 4 times harder than a male counterpart because I would never want anybody to think that I can't do what a man can do. So I'm always on my feet.
Ramya, is that the same experience you've had? Or because you're a star, you can then command, it's your call. Nobody says anything to you, obviously, because you're bigger than all of them, right?
I got lucky in Kannada, and I think to a certain extent in Tamil also, I did a few films. But my first film in Telugu didn't do well. And then I was told that they're very superstitious. If your first film in Telugu doesn't do well, then nobody's going to touch you. But if your first film does well, then you'll sign like 10 films together. And I think a lot of people who are extremely talented, like actresses, right? Vidya Balan, right? She was so talented. She is really talented. But then she didn't make it in the South, right? Because, whatever reason. Yeah. But so they look at that. I mean, especially for heroines. Then if your films like back to back don't do well, then they'll start calling you an iron leg. They have tags like that for women, and then nobody wants to do a film with you. And it completely takes away the fact that she could be an extremely good actress. She could be very good at what she does. She may be good looking as well, but nobody cares. Your film has to do well. Only then will you be. And if your film does well, and if you just come for one scene, it doesn't matter. They'll still take you. They'll still sign you on because that means you're lucky. Something worked in that film. It doesn't matter how good you are at acting or whether you're good looking or not. They will take you because you're a success. That's how, yeah.
Moral of the story, if you're a woman and you're successful, you're definitely lucky. Talent and all, you might have a little bit, but you're definitely lucky. Okay? We're carrying our sanskari ghar ki Lakshmi thing very much forward, because girl will come married into the house, suddenly they'll get some income tax refund. Oh, very good, very good. She came. India loses cricket match, very bad.
Yeah. But, like you said, even if you come for one scene and the movie's a hit, there'll be 10 offers, right? But then, at the end of the day, nobody blames the hero or, the director.
I have to date not seen a hero being called iron leg. We only have one extra cabinet where we'll have one golden leg, one iron leg, one wooden leg, one silver leg. We keep pulling them out and using and rotating.
If the film doesn't do well for the hero, then the director is blamed. Yes. Or the other combinations are blamed. The hero is never blamed.
Yeah. And I think, interesting, Samantha also had a bit of a jinx thing when she came to Tamil, I think initially. And then she broke it and then, of course, she went on to do big films with all the stars. She became a top star in the South, in Telugu and Tamil. But, Ramya, I want to ask, not many actresses today manage to stay in that position, but you still have a market. People do still want to see you back on screen, right? And if you come, your movie's still going to be a hit, right? Today's actresses, they're very like, is it the talent or what is it? They're not able to really, like, Sam is an exception, I think,
Like Trisha,
right,
Nayantara, lot of them actually.
But not the new crop of actresses, if I could say. Do they have that same, what is it that is lacking has not been able to take them to the top and sustain them? Because we see many of them disappearing very fast.
We'll have to wait and see with the new crop. Maybe give it more time and see maybe if they sustain or not. I think it's too early to say whether they would or not. But having said that, I think it's also the time period we came in and how cinema has changed over a period of time. I think that's what has helped us sustain ourselves. Like, for example, I think in the past, right, when you got married, your career was over. Now it's changing. So even if I were to get married today or have a child, people will still accept me and I will still have movies. Not as much as the men would, but I still have that. So I think the way society has changed, that has kind of helped us sustain in the movies. And you agree?
But interestingly, Jyotika just made a statement last week, I think, where she said at the age of 28, I became a mother, and then roles just disappeared. They didn't want to cast me as the lead heroine anymore,
So I think that's a while back.
Yes. I think
so
she was at one
what Ramya is saying is correct. Right now, the climate has changed.
At one point, definitely they thought once marriage, then there's no question of people acting. That changed when Kareena and all of them went about and did films. It brought about change. So now it's not even a discussion if a woman is going to act after films or not. But like Ramya said, times have changed. See, I don't think the kind of superstardom they've seen is ever going to happen. And I'm saying this, before them. It's kind of declining if you see. And this is not just for the female actors, it is even for the male actors. That enigma of cinema, of cinematic stars is climbing down. Now they're accessible, they're on Insta, you're seeing so much of their personal feeds, plus people are constantly on shorts, on reels, everybody's an actor, everybody's a filmmaker, everybody's something now. There's
Some
so
of the
much.
mystery is gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
But do you think social media has then changed, the film industry or affected it in some way?
Undoubtedly. I think Ram Gopal Verma sir said the biggest challenge for cinema is not the OTT platforms but YouTube. He's absolutely right. I mean, I think everybody's parents are on YouTube nowadays. Everybody. How many have YouTube Premium here? I think almost a lot of people will have. You're all the time on YouTube. You're all the time watching shorts. So we have so much content. I mean, it's not funny. Sometimes you have to delete an app to actually get out of that space. So we just have too much visual stimulation all the time. The thing of Friday and you going to cinema and watching is gone. But see, on the flip side, OTT has resurrected so many amazing...
I was about to ask you that.
Yeah.
Has OTT opened a floodgate of opportunities for women, especially?
It has. I mean, look at Shefali Chaya, what she's been doing, and so many amazing actors have come to the fore, characters being written for them. You didn't need to be a heroine, and such complex roles being written. And Jyotika ma'am has now done an amazing comeback,
I think so. I think it's opened up lots of interesting roles for women.
Ramya, would you ever do a web series or, have you ever thought about that space?
Totally depends on the script, what my role is. I would definitely be open to doing it. Yeah, I have no qualms like that. Yeah.
But at this stage in your career, you also have one foot in the political arena. Are there specific roles that you want to do, like where you are particular, like as a woman, I've achieved so much already, I've seen so much already, this is not something I want to do anymore?
I think why Malayalam cinema works is also because that's just, I don't want to generalize, but I think that the people over there, the way they perceive women is completely different from, let's say, here in Karnataka, right? All our films are all about machoism. So society, since films have such a big impact on society and the viewer, I feel like they're also seen, as machoism is being strong. Right? And anything that's vulnerable is seen as weak. But the minute you start having women stories being told on screen, and I think you just make society a lot more empathetic, a lot more compassionate, because I think that's what women stand for. I think the more women are shown on screen, I think the society also kind of reflects that. I mean, I'm not able to articulate it the way I'm thinking it, but what I'm trying to say is, I think for Kannada films, if we had more women narratives and perspectives being brought on screen, I think the audience will also change the way they perceive and how women are looked at, and how they treat women. I think that is what is lacking here.
Do you guys agree?
I agree. I think
Geeta should talk because
No, I
her
think
film
you're
has
right.
made such a statement.
I think with Kannada, what you're saying is absolutely right. I think not enough good paths are written for women. They are seen as props, the heroines. So I think what you're saying is, if you sensitize the viewer to more interesting content or roles of women, which show them not just as this bystander of every story, I think the way they see films will also change.
I'm actually very keen to see audience response to Preeta's film. The trailer was absolutely stunning.
The film is Varsha's film I just shot.
Yeah.
When is it releasing?
Hopefully soon. They're
And
doing the final edit.
Have someone like Vetri sir back in.
Yes,
you know,
he produced it.
Anurag Kashyap also.
So.
But in the Kannada film industry, are there producers ready and willing to back women's films, or Sunaina there's laughing, or women-oriented films? Has that happened yet?
I think it's again what Nandini said, that if there's a commercial success, if the numbers prove to them, because they only see numbers, right? It's not, they may tell you the story is amazing, but will it make money? So that's what I think stops them possibly from banking on a film like that. But let's say Ramya does a film tomorrow and it's a massive success and she is the protagonist of the film. I think more people will come forward and produce those films.
You need that one courageous person to come forward and make a film. That risk taker. And then, yeah.
But then, when there are producers willing to bet 250, 300, 350 crores on a hero, right? Why don't they want to bet a 50 crores or a 60 crores or 70 crores on an actress?
I think it's the commerce again.
Yes, because the numbers are not adding up, that's all.
Yeah, but
how do they recover 70 crores is the mathematics.
No, but Nandini, the thing is, we've also seen such big hero films flop and do so badly.
They have flopped, but they have managed to sell the films. You see, that's the thing also.
See, like she said, most of our viewers are men. 70% you said are men, right? They want to go and see heroines in a film only do the way they perceive them to be beautiful, come for a song, and all of that. But the hero should be doing all the stunts and all of that. So I think when men go, they want to see who they aspire to be, right? Since 70% of the viewers are men. If women started to watch more films, then they would look at women and who they aspire to be. I think that is where the difference lies.
So do you think, movies like The Great Indian Kitchen are an aberration rather than the norm?
Sadly, that's the truth. Because it didn't
do well in Hindi?
It was directly OTT, no? So, yeah.
Then
It
you can't
got a bit bashed saying that whatever, for whatever reason. But yeah, it created a debate there also. But they are making one hullabaloo about nothing. Yeah, we were... Yeah. But yeah, definitely an aberration, and we need more things like that. I mean, as a woman, I watched that film and I said, why the hell didn't I come up with something like this? Why did I not think this can be a film? See, because I never would have thought that will make a commercial film. See, end of the day, I have to get my film to make money to make another film. So that's what I'm thinking. But some guy just thought of the story and said, this is a compelling story, and he went and did it. And it was a man who did it, which was amazing, Geo Baby,
Malayalam is amazing that they don't even think of numbers, I think. They just make it because they believe in something, and this is how it's to be. And the people who were there also, yeah.
So Ramya, if I were to ask you a film that you would make or would want to make, what, just off the cuff, what would you want to make? What kind of film, and any theme, anything, just off the top of your head?
I think every woman's story at some level is pretty much the same, right? So I think just bringing more of that. So I think the more women watch it, they become stronger, more courageous. They start leading the way, and they think they're not alone in this journey. Other women are also going through it. Any film that kind of gives women hope and that it's possible too, and then we can change the world, and together. I think films like that, I think, is something that I'd be interested in. When we made Swati Muttana Malehani also, I think, when we got Siri on board, I loved the fact that she was the protagonist and she kind of led the film. And I think she was married, right? And then she was falling in love with another person, which is a complete taboo, right? We would think that that's what makes a bad girl. But no, she's a woman, she has emotions, she has feelings, and if a man can have it too, why can't a woman? And if a man can stray, why not a woman? And what are these different rules for men and different rules for women? I think that was something we subtly tried to say through the film. And how it doesn't end for her. Now that her marriage is over, it doesn't mean her life is over. She still has herself, a sense of agency, a sense of self, and she has everything going for her, and there's a life ahead of her. And I think those are the kind of films that I want to make. Yeah.
Would you guys also, if I were to ask what you want to make or be part of?
I mean, as a cinematographer, I'd like to shoot every kind of film, honestly. I mean, I'm not going to say I only want to make films. I'm being selfish because I love shooting. I love being near a camera. So for me, every story is exciting. And if I can bring my perspective to it, then I'm happy.
I want to make films that make money. No discussion. No money, there's no film. You can have as many thoughts. I want the world to change. I want air pollution to go away. I want everybody to love each other. I want people to be kind to animals. Yes, lot of things. But yeah, film has to make money. Full stop. If that doesn't take off, you're not going to get onto the next flight.
Then we won't be in the game. We're out of the game.
Then I have to take up your job. Yeah. No. Then I'll take up her job. No, I'll go doing interviews then.
Right. But, before we get into a quick Q&A, and we'll just have time for a couple of questions, what I want to know is, Ramya, are you going to come back full-fledged into the world of movies? And what is your future looking like?
I wish I knew. I'm not a clairvoyant, unfortunately. But I do want to, but then I want to take my time, and I want to kind of do something that excites me. That, like, we want to do a sports film, right? But then there were so many sports films that have already been made, and it's always the same, right? It's always the underdog, and then in the end, they're going to win. So that we already know is what happens in every sports film. But how do we kind of keep the audience hooked through the film? So that was something that I'm quite interested in, and maybe we'll chat again. And I am looking at scripts, and I do hope to do a film sometime. Let's see.
Nandini, what's next for you? And what are you doing to get more women into the space of direction yourself?
I definitely try to hire, they're there, a lot more women assistants now, and I make it a point to have women assistants on the set. I've worked with 2 women producers, and they're fantastic to work with. So yeah, and I'm going to work with the 3rd woman producer now, next, Samantha.
Oh, congratulations. So Sam's film, that's great. And Rita, what about you? What's next for you? And is there direction at all in line for you? Do you want to direct?
Let me have a job. No, I can't do cinematography. And I can't act also. So,
I'm still not tired of cinematography. I think I love it too much, and that's what I want to do. My next film will be with Gautam Menon.
Congratulations! Okay, that's great. Fabulous. So all of you all have and exciting projects coming up soon. But Ramya, I do want to see you in a web series because I think, the need for talent to get global exposure is, I think, so important. And I think that's given Indian women, whether they're technicians, writers, directors, I think that these OTT platforms have given them a global platform. Would you guys agree with that as my last take?
Absolutely.
I think they'll give her a role which kind of, can actually explore the spectrum of acting. I think there's a lot there that's not been explored.
You can break a lot of, barriers and stereotypes, and we're putting the wish out, collective wish out for Ramya to be at the Emmys.
Yes.
Ramya, would you like to add your take on?
No, I think we'll take some
questions.
Shiva says.
I would like to ask you.
First question. It was a nice discussion. Ramya, I've seen you right from Abhi, since I was the first to take your photograph and do an interview also. I've seen you have seen your ups and downs in political, in cinema, and this question is for all also. What is your take on mental health? What do you advise for people, women forced to come to cinema or political? You can take a shot on it. Political also you can add to it. Apart from films, what they have to see to keep up their mental health in a proper shape. Because I've seen, in spite of ups and downs, it was not showing in your face at any given point of time. I've seen that.
You already made me cry also.
No, you might have.
Yes, you made me cry, yes.
Even then, you have stayed strong. I've seen over the years, 20 years in your cinema career. I just want you to put a little bit light on mental health.
Wow, such a deep question now. I think as women, we always try to put up a front that, we're strong and everything's okay and we can manage it. And I just don't mean myself. I mean our mothers, all women basically, right? Because we want to show that we're not vulnerable. But I think that it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to show that, you can't handle everything and sometimes you are, you're not as strong as you project yourself to be. I think most of the time we project ourselves to be strong because we don't want to be taken advantage of. We don't want to show our vulnerability, especially to men. And I have always maintained that because I feel like I can handle things myself. As long as you're around people who you can trust and you have a good, safe environment, I think it's okay to be vulnerable, to allow your emotions and feelings to show. But I think most women project because they don't want to show their vulnerable side because they could be taken advantage of. How did I manage? I think I was, my father kept me very grounded and rooted. So I think every time I had issues, I would go to him and he kind of, helped me navigate those situations. Sometimes I've allowed myself to express myself in front of the media. And I think I've been quite vocal about, my journey in politics and how, my father's death affected me and how vulnerable it made me. But I think it has also sort of made me grow as a person and understand myself better and have more empathy towards, people. So I think it's been my own growth and evolution as a person. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sir, regarding this, I have an appeal to the media. Yes, in media. Point one finger. Got it back. So recently, there was an incident of Kalpana ma'am, the singer, and she was, they reported it as a suicide, but obviously it was a drug overdose. I think, especially in terms of actors, celebrities, I really, really request the media to portray some kind of sensitivity. When they talk about actors, when they talk about their personal lives, they put things out. I mean, if we make everything a thumbnail, where are we going as a society? At the end of the day, it's your children also who are going to pick up all that news. It's your families, your kids. And they're going to think this is how you see the world with that thumbnail. So I think when you're asking us about mental health, we should also reflect as a society, how are we portraying ourselves also. And I'm very proud to say the younger generation has taken greater responsibility for their mental health. I see a lot more younger kids opting to talk to therapists online. So, so proud of them for taking that step and doing it. And I think they should actually pave the way forward for the older generation also to reach out for help when it's needed. We've had actresses like Deepika come forward and share their mental health experiences, as have many male actors and celebrities. So I think the industry on their end is being quite open and putting it out. Little help from media, little sensitivity from there also would go a long way in us as a society taking this forward. I think very valuable question put forward by you.
I can only talk about my own experience with mental health. And what I tell my assistants, both male and female, is because we have such long gaps between projects, I think it's important to stay fit. And I think exercise is number one. I think that's the best way to stay above many of the things that bring you down.
Ramya, one question.
I think Sharda.
Okay.
Every time, this is like we always talk about, time and again we are talking about women in others get a strong central character in films, and there are no good stories for women written. Why is that? Like, we are just talking about it, and as women we are not initiating. Are we depending on men to write about women's characters?
When I produced a film and it was female-centric, right? Like we already discussed, it's all about the numbers, unfortunately.
More women, come and watch, please.
Yeah.
We initiate is somewhere like we are depending on men again. We have to write some women.
No.
We are depending on you to come and watch, which is already made.
No. Sharda.
We don't want appreciation, tickets.
No, I get your point. We don't need to depend on men to write roles for women at all. We don't have to at all. There are women writers, like I said, Rupa Rao, right? She's one of them, and there are many, many more actually. Preeta has written stories. So there are women who are writing roles. We don't have. The thing is, the commercial, the aspect is what everyone looks at, especially if you're producing a film, right? I wish my film also did commercially well, but it didn't. So my next film, I want to make sure, like she said, that I also get back the money. And what I mean by that I make money is that more people watch it. That's the whole point.
Good afternoon. My name is Anup Chandrasekharan.
Anup, 1 second. The lady here had a question for us before you. Yeah, Kudiyo.
ಇಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಕೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ರಮ್ಯಾ ಈ ಪ್ಲಾಟ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಇಬ್ರು ಟೆಕ್ನಿಷಿಯನ್ಸ್
ಹೌದು.
ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸರ್ ಆಕ್ಟರ್ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂತಿದ್ದೀರಾ
ಹಾ.
ನೀವೇ ಒಂದ್ ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಒಂದ್ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಫಿಲ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಬರಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿ.
Yeah. We will do. Peter said yes. Pan India. Yeah. Correct. Anup.
First time film producer. I just wanted to substantiate on the action-oriented female alpha stories. So my first film that I'm doing, which is getting released in Telugu in the mid of April, is about a housewife who learns karate and gives it back to
Jai,
Yeah, it's so
you're remaking it.
Yeah, that's one. The second film that is a 50 crore film with Nayanthara. It's called Rakai. It's about a mother-child relationship.
Nice.
The extent to which a mother will go to sacrifice her commitment for a word that she gives and the sacrifice that she is willing to give for a child is what the story is all about. Now, coming to that question of why are women-centric films, big-budget women-centric films not happening today, as I speak, you must have heard Nayanthara's Mukut Yaman of 100 crores is ready. Just did the puja today. And then there is also another Anushka Sharma's film, which is Anushka Shetty's film, which is also coming. So I guess it's slowly, there is a change in the ecosystem, and it's good for the industry. But one of the problems that I'm facing as a producer is that always heroes decide who wants to be the heroine. So when will that change?
Sir, when you say no, sir, you are putting the money. If you give the hero, say, please let me know, then he will say. If you say no, I am the producer, or the director will decide, then it will change, no, sir.
Then the hero will back out.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, that's a problem you have to deal with. I mean, somebody has to sit there and say, this actor, the director at least has to put their foot down. So, yeah, it's depending which tune you want to dance to.
Or on a lighter.
Hello? Yeah. Hi Ramya ma'am, I have a question for you. Before that, I have 2 lines for you. ನಿನ್ನ ಪ್ರೀತಿಯಂತೆ ಈ ಜಗತ್ತಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತೇನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅದು ನನ್ನ ಬದುಕಿನ ಆದರ್ಶವಾಗುತ್ತದೆ. I have always lost in your gaze. ನಿನ್ನ ಕಣ್ಣುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ನಿತ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಕಳೆದು ಹೋಗುತ್ತೇನೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ನನ್ನ ಪ್ರಪಂಚವಾಗಿದೆ. This is the line for you, and my quick question to you is basically, through Apple Box Studios, I think you have made amazing films. Like the first film which you did, I was amazed by that. Now my quick question is, I know it did not do commercially. There is always a pros in Kannada or English. Try until you succeed, right? So when that is the case, why don't you fast track doing more films in your production house and give young actors here or artists here opportunities so that they also grow, your production house also grows, and young actresses who are in the industry also get the right opportunity. So
Yes,
this was
I
my
think
question.
Sunayana Matina, who already Apple Box came, we've, kind of shortlisted about 4 scripts. So I think we will kind of like make an announcement and then we will get that rolling in some time. But thank you, Navadini Martha Iradu, but I just didn't want to say it. But yeah, I think at the appropriate time, you will hear about it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hello, we'll have to audition.
Hello, this is the coolest panel Biffis has got today, and I was so excited to come hear what all of you have to say.
Your name?
My name is Preeti. I'm very excited to talk to all of you. I think my biggest question, I'm a budding filmmaker, so I've been thinking about, especially in the Kannada context, our biggest thing is the audience is male. They're all 18 to 23. So how will our stories sell tickets? So I've been wondering, even right from our serials to web series, especially our serials, why are men writing these stories? And why are they still writing Saas Bahu stories? I see so many interesting women, and it doesn't, even if I make it, it doesn't have to be about our pain, it doesn't have to be about our suffering. So I'm wondering, especially in Kannada, should the women actors, the women writers, the directors, should we segue into serials and web series to make our money, to make a standing, to have like a regular job that we go to, and is that a stream we should consider?
See, I don't want to go male bashing either, because some men are extremely sensitive and they've written great stories for women, right? You mentioned a few of them. So let's not say that, why do we need men? We don't need men to write stories about women. Having said that, there are men who also understand women very well and, they write great stories. But I think women should be more forthcoming, and I think they must also write, because there's always some perspective, that we bring in, which is unique to just what we know, and then there's some things that men don't understand. So I don't think you should give up already and say, oh, should we only make serials and web series? I think there are some great women directors, look at Nandini, who's making some great commercial films also. So I think you can find that balance. I think it's just about time, and we, women, have to get together, and that is what is going to make a difference. Yeah. Anyone else? Yes. No. But that lady, and then you shout now.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ, ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ರಾವ್ ಅಂತ, ಕ್ಯಾಲಿಫೋರ್ನಿಯಾದಿಂದ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀನಿ, USA. 35 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ನಡ ಅಭಿಮಾನಿಯಾಗಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಇನ್ನೂ ಕೂಡ ಬಂದಿರೋದು ಅದೇ ಉದ್ದೇಶ. ಫಿಲ್ಮ್ ಫೆಸ್ಟಿವಲ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಫಸ್ಟು ನನಗೆ ಇರೋ ಕನೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳಿ ಬೇಕು ಟಿಕೆಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೋಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಇನ್ವೈಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀನಿ.
So I think Sadhu Kokila sir will be very happy to hear this.
ಭೇಟಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ತುಂಬಾ ಸಲ.
ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀರ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಖುಷಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
Some of you said you don't understand Kannada.
I understood what you said.
Okay. What I want to say is
ಇವರೇ ಒಂದು ಮಹಾಂತೇಶ್ ಯಾಕಪ್ಪ ಬನ್ನಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಪ್ಯಾನೆಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಒಂದ್ ನಿಮಿಷ ನಾನು ಬರ್ತೀನಿ, 5 minutes. Don't worry. ಹೇಳಿ madam.
So recently I watched Emergency. Kannada
Emergency.
movie. Okay.
ನೀವು ಯಾವ್ದು ಕನ್ನಡ ಸಿನಿಮಾ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡೆ, ಬಟ್ ಓಕೆ.
ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋ ಉದ್ದೇಶ ಇದಕ್ಕೇನೆ. She is an excellent actress and also politically involved. For people like that category, she got so much obstacles in releasing the movie, and that didn't do well in the theaters. Even in USA, maybe in entire California, 2 theaters, which is really upsetting to me at least. And many people might have told, but I'm open to speaking about it. You are in the same kind of boat. You are an artist and politically involved. Are you facing anything like that in any of the movies?
No.
So, can I see?
I think, no, see, Kangana's had a lot of success. I just think Emergency was a really bad film. It was badly made. That's why people don't watch it. No, whether controversial or not, right? Like Mani Karnika, there was a lot of controversy around it. People went to watch it. The film did well. What I'm trying to say is,
It had censor issues. It didn't have other issues.
no, but when it released, it didn't have any issues, right?
Censorship was the issue. We can't get into that. Censorship has nothing to do with the political thing.
Correct.
Purely censor board.
Correct.
It's
But
all about censorship then?
no, with this particular film, she's saying, with Emergency, she's saying the film had some censorship issues, and therefore we can't
Date
comment about it.
shifted and all that happened.
Other like to, but let's say, despite all those obstacles, the film released and it didn't do well, it means that people didn't want to watch it, and for whatever reasons they didn't want to watch it. Whereas the other film, Mani Karnika, did extremely well, and that also faced a lot of obstacles. So there's nothing to say that she faced a problem because of who she is. I don't think so. It's
Ma'am,
just a badly made film.
One other question.
Sorry.
Hi, my name is Sunil. Big fan. My question is, with a disclaimer, I can tell you that there will not be another Ramya. For sure. But my question is, why don't we have more Ramyas? Especially in Kannada industry. If we have to, showcase, this is an actress from our industry to somebody else outside of Karnataka or outside of India. The first name that comes to my mind, at least, and I think most people will agree, is you, but nobody after you. We want it to stay like that, but we want to change also.
There are only some OGs.
That's true. But anybody else who comes after you, they'll be like a bubble. They just come and they go. But why can't they stay, especially in Kannada industry, but that's not happening in Telugu or Tamil.
I think, Sunil, we answered this question, right? It's the time the period I came in, and then how it's changed over, time and today, where I think we already discussed that. And I do think that it's too early to say that there will not be
It's happening in other languages, why not?
Because she's still here.
Well, so just to quickly interject, I think, there will only be one Ramya, and Ramya is still here, by the way. She's not gone anywhere. I think to quickly interject and add to that, it's just that every industry is different, and so it's like comparing apples to oranges. It's very difficult because what's happening in Bollywood is also completely different, where you have so many superstars. Are there any other questions?
Sorry.
Quickly, please. We need to wrap up.
One ನಿಮಿಷ ಇದೆ ಅವ್ರ ಹಿಂದೆಗಡೆ. Jagdeep. Anudeep. Anudeep. हाँ हीलिप हाँ.
If you have questions, please.
और really Anudeep ये ना पालन प्रश्न. Oh yeah, amazing. Do something then. Yeah, good. Thank you. Haley, Shashibala sir, Haley. Haley. Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I in those four? Sunaina?
Sunaina, please.
Am I in those four? Well, they're all four really great scripts, so I think in one of them maybe. We'll bring up in between. Or ಆಗ್ಲೇ ಶೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಾಯ್ತಪ್ಪ ಐಶ್ವರ್ಯ ಜೊತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? Yeah, so now how can I? ಅವ್ರು ಏನಾದ್ರು
one point of time, there was so much, the buzz, okay, Ramya is making a comeback, and the script of Swati Muthumaneyani, you just now had very good words, but at that point, why were you hesitant to take up as an actor?
So I think I wanted my comeback to be a theatrical experience for everybody. I didn't want it to be an OTT thing. And Swati Muthumaneyani was made specifically for OTT actually. But then the OTT people backed out, and then we went back to them, and then they said, "Neevu first release maadi theatrally, aamele naavu togotivanta." So all of that was happening. So I just felt that if I do make a comeback, then it has to be on screen.
Thank you for this answer, because we have many others.
Oh yeah. Okay. One second, that girl. Hili.
I like to talk in Kannada.
Hili.
ನೀವು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹೆಣ್ಮಕ್ಳು ಫಿಲಂ ಬರಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಜೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ.
Okay.
ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಅವ್ರವ್ರ ಭಾಷೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಫಿಲಂ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಹೆಣ್ಮಕ್ಳು ನೋಡಕ್ ಇಷ್ಟ ಪಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ನಾಮೂಲ್ ಕರ್ದೆ ಬಾ ಅಮ್ಮ ಅಂತ ಅವರು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತಾರೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರವ್ರ ಭಾಷೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಫಿಲಂ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಆ ಹೆಣ್ಮಕ್ಳು ಬಂದು ನೋಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದು ನನ್ನ ಸಜೆಸ್ಟ್.
ನೀವು ಕನ್ನಡ ಸಿನಿಮಾ ನೋಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಅಷ್ಟು ಸಾಕು. ಓ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್. ಓ ಓಕೆ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್. ಓಕೆ ಬಟ್ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಅಮ್ಮನೂ ಕನ್ನಡ ಸಿನಿಮಾ ನೋಡಲ್ಲ?
ಕನ್ನಡ ನೋಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ
ಬೇರೆ ಭಾಷೆ ನೋಡಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ
ಅವ್ರ ಭಾಷೆಲೆ ಮೂವಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹೆಣ್ಮಕ್ಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅವ್ರ ಭಾಷೆ ಮೂವಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದೇ ತೆಲುಗು ಕನ್ನಡ ತಮಿಳ್ ಮಲಯಾಳಂ ಆತರ ಅವ್ರ ಭಾಷೆ ಮೂವಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಬಂದು ನೋಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹೆಸರು ಹೇಳಿ. ಸಿಂಚನ.
Now I have a question.
ಹೇಳಿ.
And my question is specifically for Nandini ma'am and Srita ma'am.
Yeah.
People and students who are aspiring to be into filmmaking, specifically looking for cinematography and direction. So how can they pave their way through it? Because being an actress, you have to go give auditions. You might get several scripts, projects, and you succeed. But when it comes to directional things and cinematography, there's no such clear way that is told. So can you please tell what's the process?
You have 1,000 more ways than we had.
Yes.
We didn't have cameras which were like you can shoot on your phone, you can make a short film, you can upload it. That's how so many short filmmakers have come and made. You have OTT. We didn't have all those options. So you have a lot more ways to.
Thank you so much, ma'am. You guided fire more of us and come to that meeting and take this again.
Hoping to see more of you.
Ma'am, I have a question for Nandini. Yeah. Actually, I love Gautaman's work, and he tells us like he writes stories or romantic stories based on his life experiences. Like, can we expect the same from you?
From my love story, you want? You want to basically want to know my love life. That's another day we'll sit and have. How do you know I'm not writing? But just because Gautam Madam said it's his love story, so you believe? No, just because I didn't say, you're thinking it didn't happen.
And why do you assume she's not romantic?
Maybe right now I'm in love. Maybe next year it will come out. Keep watching my films. You'll figure it out sometime. చెప్పండి.
ఒరిజినల్ లాయర్ ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్ నుంచి వచ్చాను.
ఓకే అండి,
మిమ్మల్ని ఇక్కడ చూడడం చాలా సంతోషంగా ఉంది.
థ్యాంక్ యూ అండి.
సెకండ్ థింగ్, రమ్య మేడం, I was seeing you in Telugu film Abhi, and also one of the another film it was dubbed Surya Son of Krishna. One character. You have done a fantastic man. Really, you are one of the favorite after watching the Surya Son of Krishna, one of your characters. You mentioned that Abhi was flopped. That's okay. Abhi was not flopped.
You know, I have to tell you this about Andhra film goers, okay? You ask them, how did you like this film? They'll be like, I saw it 4 times and I didn't like it. I love that about them, you know, and you must be this, I don't know how many people have watched Abhimanyu, but I know Andhra people will watch it at least once, then to come and say that, you know, oh, the film didn't work. Amazing, sir. Thank you.
You have done a fantastic character, Surya Son of Krishna. And Nandini madam, మరి మన రమ్య గారితో మీరు ఎప్పుడు సినిమా చేస్తున్నారు?
ఎప్పుడు అండి రమ్య గారు చెప్పండి.
చేసింది నందిని, అలాగే మన రమ్య గారితో కూడా మంచి తీసుకుంటాను. ఎలా పాలిటిక్స్ లో ఉంది కాబట్టి.
ఓకే, do we have a commitment here? I think Ramya just painted herself into a corner now. I am ready. Directors are more jobless than actors and politicians.
Director, DOP ready? Ramya has said yes.
We have a done deal. Yeah, no, I think we should just shake hands on this. Yeah, I think you guys have just made us sign one film now. She doesn't know what subject, but it's on. So next 6 months, you see Ramya anywhere, you know what question to ask.
I have experience working on film without getting this film.
Our producer is also there.
This is the best MOU of business.
Momentum. So elated.
I have a question. What started? All things please. I don't want selfie. I don't disturb your privacy. I want to take photo of it.
Yeah.
So the extent of what I had told, specific to Ramya ma'am. Sure. It's special to you, ma'am. So yeah. So I just read all the media, so I just want to reconfirm. You mentioned about the mental health. I just read that you had gone to Vipassana.
Yeah.
That is true. How much that impacted you after that?
I've done it 3 times.
I did it from 97. I did it from Igatpuri, so I've been practicing. It helped me a lot.
It has helped me too.
Yeah, so I just wanted to know from your perspective, did it really matter for those 10 days of silence? Because what I've seen Ramya before Vipassana, at least from the media, and after Vipassana, you're more calmed down and not that much reactive.
So then you already have your answer there.
I want to know from your perspective.
The 10 days experience, we want you to endorse that.
So I've done Vipassana a couple of times. I think the first time was about 10 days. The second time was also about 10 days. The third time I did for a longer period of time. And I think that kind of really helped deal. I think most of the time we're running away from our thoughts. We're trying to suppress it. We're trying to like distract ourselves. We don't really sit down with our thoughts and sort of face them. And I think that kind of really helped understand myself better. I think today I'm just trying to find a balance. Like I am very much doing films and politics and whatever else, but I think I'm not really attached to the end goal. I kind of like let whatever happens, happens. I'm not really attached to the result. I think that's what has really helped me. Because I think in the past, if a film didn't succeed or if I was let down by someone or a friend or a partner or something, I'd get very emotional, right? But I'm not like that. I think I'm still kind of like sensitive, but not to the extent that I was before. Now I'm, I think, a little more stoic or a little more balanced. Yeah. I completely suggest Vipassana to everybody. Okay. One last
question. Ramya? Okay.
You ask them.
Okay, really.
Acting and you script ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಲೈಕ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ ಲೈಕ್ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಆಪಲ್ ಬಾಕ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಯಾವ್ದು ಸೀರಿಯಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಇದು ಸ್ಟೋರಿ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ ಸೊ ನಾನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ.
ನೀವು ಕಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಟೋರಿ ಸೀರಿಯಸ್ ಆಗಿ ತಗೋತೀರಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಆಪಲ್ ಬಾಕ್ಸ್ಗೆ?
ಎರಡು ಸೀರಿಯಸ್ ಆಗಿ ತಗೋತೀನಿ.
ಯಾವ ಈಸಿ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ? ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರ ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಆಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರ?
I didn't know anything about production either. Now I understand what my producers went through actually. I think I learned a lot through the film that I produced, and I think there's one more skill added. Direction. First you asked me about this. I am not thinking that far. I think I have one skill set which I think I'm okay in front of the camera. I think a secondary skill set which I can just sort of get by is producing. So I think I'll just focus on these two.